WROI Giant FM back here in the Trading Post, and I'm joined now by Brian Freshauer. And good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me in.
Hey, no problem. Always love to take time to sit down and talk with a local artist. And your most recent project is something that I'm a big fan of. So when you called and asked if I would be interested in this, yeah.
A little different.
It is different, but it is something that has started to take the world by storm.
It really has. It is music, and it's a musical system, but it's not Western musical system. So you're not going to hear a hit song.
Well, I mean, it could be.
It could be a hit song. This is what this is I have a YouTube channel that I have started that features what are called ancient Solfeggio tones. And what those are is they're a series of pitches.
Okay.
And there were originally 6. They were discovered by Guido of Arezzo in Italy around the 11th century. It's said that there's some reference in the Bible about them, but you kind of have to do a little bit of interpretation when you read the verses to get it. But the numbers are there, and it works out.
Okay.
It could be very strange coincidence, or it could be, intervention, or divine, whatever. So
yeah.
We don't know. But that is compelling to learn. Now, a lot of people have asked me since I've got the channel up, and the channel blew up overnight, went crazy good.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are asking, what are the tones, and what's the purpose? What's the whole point? The tones are said to have healing properties, everything from healing physical pain to anxiety, all the way up to basically getting you physically or spiritually cleansed.
Okay.
And a lot of people raise an eyebrow at that last one, but it is necessary to make sure that you're spiritually cleansed. And people do that by going and worshiping or meditating or going to church. This is just another avenue to do that. It's another tool that we have that has recently become very, very popular. And you got to do the work, right? You can't just talk about the gym and get strong. You got to use tools. This is one of them. It resonates with some, and others it doesn't. So that's the overarching idea, is that these tones are originally or are said to have healing and beneficial properties to them when you listen to them.
Now, you said originally there were 6 of them, and as I look at your YouTube channel here, which, in case somebody is wanting to find it, it's In a World Studios, Brian Freshauer.
Yes.
So you can go find that on YouTube. You have 10 of them up here.
Yes. Now, what I did there, the reason there's 10 is I expanded the set from 6 to 9.
Okay.
Okay. You'll see that a lot. The numbers that I went with are not uncommon. It's just the standard is 6, but there is an extended set of 9.
Okay.
So I made those, and then the 432 hertz is not part of the set.
Okay.
But it was a special request, and I put it up. It made sense because all of the tones have a digital root of 3, 6, or 9. Mm-hmm. And 432 has a digital root of 9. So I thought, okay, that fits. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
So I put that up too.
All right. And as we're talking here about the digital roots of 3, 6, or 9, mm-hmm. Let's kind of go over some of these. You've got 174 hertz up here. You've got 285, 396, 417, just to name a few here. And each one of these is going to do something a little bit different.
Correct. And I can basically explain the whole set in the first 3 numbers.
Okay.
So 174, the way to find a digital root is just to add the numbers down to one number. So 174, you take 1 plus 7, you get 8, plus that final number 4 is 12. Now you've still got 2 numbers, so you take 1 and 2 from 12. 1 and 2 is 3. So the digital root of 174 hertz is 3.
Okay.
285, you add the numbers down, you get 6. 396, you add those down, you get 9. Now, because of the properties of addition,
Yeah.
174 and 417 and 714 are all going to have the same digital root.
Right. Right.
Okay, so that's how that whole thing works. The thing that I found so compelling about that is because I'm a big Nikola Tesla fan.
Yes.
He loved 3, 6, 9. He says if you can understand the secret to 3, 6, and 9, you've got a key to the universe.
Yeah.
And even Einstein was saying, hey, everything about the universe and physics is all about vibration and frequency. And there really is something to that.
Yeah, and we see a lot of that in the Tesla coil. I mean, it's vibrating. It puts out a frequency that you can hear, and I'm sure it's either a 3, 6, or a 9.
It depends on the frequency.
Yeah.
Not all frequencies have that digital root. So the basically what if you understand what sound is, it might help to help the person to understand why this can work.
Okay.
Sound is nothing but just air pressure. That's really all it is.
Okay.
The old question, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound? Well, the answer really is no, because our brains are what make the sound. Sound pressure is released, air pressure is released in waves, right?
Yeah.
But our ears hear that and turn it into sound. So if you hear a beat, like the best way to describe it is if you're on the road and you get that thing on the side of the little rumble strip. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're going super slow, you can hear each individual bump. But as you accelerate, the bumps become so close together that your brain can no longer separate them. And instead, it turns into a pitch or a tone. And it starts with really low notes at first. And then as you go faster,
becomes higher.
yeah.
Yeah.
So on that Tesla coil, it all depends on what the frequency is, whether it's going to have a 3, 6, or 9 digital root. Not all tones do.
Okay. All right. Now, so let's say I wanted to focus on some anxiety relief. What would be a good tone to use for that one?
So anxiety, 174 hertz is really good for that. That's where a lot of people start. 396 might be a good one too, because it releases fear and guilt. I mean, all these are really good for that. 417 releases negativity and trauma. So I guess you just have to kind of know where your anxiety is coming from, and then just choose and go from there. There's the higher numbers get more into the spiritual, intuitive benefits.
Okay.
So your lower ones are going to be your anxiety and your physical pain and things like that. But you can find all that information on the internet as far as what tones benefit what.
Yeah. And if somebody's wanting to look up to figure that out, what's a good search phrase to use?
Hey, Wikipedia's got a great one.
Okay.
But you just put Solfeggio healing frequency chart into Google, and it's going to come up with all kinds of stuff for you.
All right. That sounds like the perfect way to do it. That way you can figure out which one of these videos, or all of them even, would work best for you.
Correct.
And I mean, there's probably nothing wrong with starting at 174 and then just working your way up.
Yeah, I thought about that, and it does seem to make more sense, because you're taking care of the lower, more basics, getting that cleared out of the way to make room for the others, is the theory behind that.
Okay.
So it just kind of depends on where you are in your journey,
Yeah.
so to speak.
And one final question I have here for you, and then I'll let you talk a little
Sure.
bit more about how you came across this and how you decided to do this. Is it kind of one of those only listen to one a day, or can you listen to all 10 of them in one day if you wanted to?
I would say just listen to your gut.
Okay.
I really don't know. 10 years ago, I discovered these watching a movie called Ancient Knowledge.
Okay.
And they said, here, musicians, check these numbers out. And so I did, and the more and more I looked, the more compelled I was with these, and more intrigued because of the math behind them. It's real simple math. And it's very elegant, very beautiful math. And it's all harmonious. Everything's 3-6-9. Everything fits like perfect gearing. No, if you do the math, there's no remainders. Everything fits perfectly. Right. And so when I saw how that worked, I got online and saw that a lot of people were putting those tones up, but they were just putting up just the tone or just the tone behind some other music. And it didn't, I thought, man, that's great, but I think we could go a step further. And so what I did was I decided to take advantage of that perfect math and created these sets in a way that, to my knowledge, no one is doing. And without giving away too much of the secret recipe, I made sure that everything, when I built each video, I did what we called justified tuning.
Okay.
Now, the Western musical system that we use today is equal temperament tuning. So if you look on a piano, every note that, whether it's black or white, when they're touching each other, they're exactly 5 hertz apart. So A 440, right? The A flat below it is at 435.
Okay.
So everything is 5 apart from each other, equidistant.
Okay.
But with justified tuning, which is the old way of doing it, way before Vatican II changed all that, the justified tuning means each note has its own value, regardless of the ones around it.
Okay.
So to hear a song played in justified tuning sounds really weird to us at first because we're not used to that. But it's more pure.
Okay.
And so what I did was, in keeping with the justified mindset, I would take, say, for instance, when I did 174 hertz, I used a tone generator with a sine wave. So it's the sine wave is the purest tone there is in nature. And then I took everything else and I made sure that it was tuned around 174 hertz. Our Western system tunes everything around A440, equal temperament. Right. This is not like that at all.
Okay.
So everything from what I did was I took like your 174 hertz, I divided that number in half and I got an octave lower.
Okay.
Perfect octave. And I would do one more below that. And I used those to carry, sort of to give it a little bit more inertia, if you will. And then I did 2 octaves above the 174 as well. Okay. And then anything else I did, I made sure all of my values on my EQing, everything was, even my EQ, I have a 5-band EQ, 174 hertz is right in the middle, and the 2 below it, the 2 above it are tuned right to that number. Mm-hmm. And then I just bump them a little bit, just some stuff to just accent it without destroying the waveform at all.
Right.
Used phase metering to make sure everything was clean, and just went from there. And the phase meters actually made some really cool geometry.
Okay.
To my surprise, it was very, very pretty, very balanced.
Now, as I'm looking at each one of these videos, they are all 1 hour and 11 seconds long. Was there a specific reason that you went to that?
Well, I wanted 1 hour.
Okay.
But just for the fun, I made it 111 for a digital root of 3.
Okay. All right. Well, that explains it then.
I even kept this thing in 3/4 time at a tempo that had a digital root of 3. I mean, that way everything was going to lock in.
Okay.
I don't know. And that's the last thing I want to bring up. I don't know if all of this mathematical nerdiness is going to make a difference or not. And I'm open as I can be about that on the channel. Please let me know. Subscribe, like, let me know if this is working for you or if it isn't, or if you're not sure. I want to know. It's kind of taking a scientific approach to it. I'm not making any claims. I'm just saying, let's see if this works.
All right. Well, it sounds like it's going to be a great adventure. There's 10 of them up there that everybody can go check out. Of course, the first 9 were what you went with, and then somebody had a special request making it 10.
Yeah.
So go check out these videos. Again, it's In a World Studios, Brian Freshour.
And then the final thing I wanted to add was that I've set some goals for the channel. At 500 subscribers, I will do a copy set, an exact same set, only with binaural treatment.
Okay.
And binaural is, again, it's a frequency that works as far as they're a lot lower. So we start with delta, which is around 3 to 5 hertz. I'll probably do 3 or 6 so that we're all in keeping with the 369.
Right.
And then up through theta, alpha, and beta's around 50
Okay.
or something. I forget now what it is. But the idea there is that it not only are you going to get the benefits from the healing tone, but binaural frequencies also help attune. So this would be an augmented experience.
All right.
A lot of people are asking for that. So at 500 subscribers, I'll put those out. At 1,000 subscribers, I'll do a video, an educational video on the tones, how they work more in depth than we just went into.
Okay. All right. Sounds like some great goals. And I see we'll probably be talking about your educational video here in a month or two.
I hope so. I really hope so. So like, subscribe, and let me know how they're working for you.
Yes. And again, it's In a World Studios, Brian Freshour. You can just look up In a World Studios and you'll find it.
Yeah, you can do either my name or In World Studios, put healing tones after it, and it'll really help you find it.
All right. Thank you so much, Brian, for taking time out of your day to come in and talk about these healing tones for a little bit, and look forward to doing this again soon.
Thank you so much, Paul.
Thank you. Back with more of the Trading Post right after this on WROI.